Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
Hey, Harjit, how's it going, dude?
Hello, prayer. It's good.
Yeah, another day, another
Yeah, another
day.
week.
Did you did you go anywhere? Let me guess, no.
No. Yeah. Did you travel anywhere? Uh,
No.
no.
Actually, I did. I actually did go somewhere. I took a day off on Monday, and I went for a walk in San Falisco Forest,
Okay.
which is, yeah, it's a state park not too far from where I live,
Oh,
and it was
cool.
nice. It was like I decided to take the longer route, and so it took me like an hour of hiking up and down
Oh
hills
man, that's a good hike.
over, yep, over some interesting water features and stuff like that. It was funny. At one point, I was like, I don't know where the trail markers are anymore,
Ah,
and the ground cover was questionable enough. I'm like, I think the trail is this, and so I just had to trust my gut
do
to
you
follow.
do you not remember that you have snakes where you live?
I was concerned.
Okay.
Yes, I was. I was very concerned, and there was a couple times like I heard something, and I'd be like, "Whoa!" But it would be like a lizard. I saw lizards, squirrels, frogs, and lots of different kinds of birds. One of
Yeah.
the trail that I went down was, I think it was called Old Moonshine Creek Trail, and way back in the day, people actually used to make moonshine in this
Ah,
creek, which
okay.
is why it was labeled that. And I can see why, because it's not easy to get to, I guess.
Right.
So it was really beautiful. It was a nice day for us. I'm glad I got to do that.
Good, good, good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cold for us. I mean,
Sorry.
and then all of a sudden it went up to like in the 40s, like it was like summertime for us. And then the very next day is like freezing temps, like minus, I can't remember what it was, like 50 miles per hour winds. Like, I mean, it was like, yeah. So
Holy
Monday
cow.
was like really really warm, and then Tuesday, like overnight, it just dropped. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy the way the fluctuations. And so,
For
but
real.
no, I haven't gone anywhere. And in fact, yeah, you just like, I don't know if it's just become like habit or something. You're just like, you're home, you're working from home, you're doing things at home, and then weekend comes along, and then we don't have you know warm weathers here, so you're like, do I want to go anywhere? Like, what am I going to go out there and do anyways? Do I need to buy anything? Not really. You
Yeah.
know,
The excitement is going grocery shopping.
yeah. But what I'm looking forward to, because this reminds me of when we went COVID, you know, uh, crazy last March, and then by April and stuff like that, when the weather was start warming up, and my daughter and I would start sitting on our decks and working from there. She would lay like one of those portable mattresses and just lay down there and do her schoolwork, and you know and I would
Cool.
set up like one of those camping tables, and just get some sun and chill. And the only issue is the glare on your laptop.
Oh, right.
You like, so I have to figure out, like, create like a box or something so to block out the light.
Hmm.
But I'm looking forward to that, though. That's what I want to do, uh,
Cool.
rather than sit in the basement. So
Yeah. Getting outside and getting sun is definitely a good thing in these times. And
oh
then
yeah,
even after, when we're done, it's
yeah,
good to get out for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. So no, that's good. So anyways, we got some heavy news, I guess. Of something is happening around the world that's really critical, and you want to
Yep.
talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can't have heard of this by now, but the Exchange 2013, 2016, 16, and 19 all had a out of bound,
ZeroDay.
out of yes, due to some day threats that were actively being one of them was actively being exploited. And so it's like a big emergency. Our folks at our institution patched everything that night, and so we're good to go. But I'm hearing a lot of it was. I did hop on the Microsoft security call the following day after they announced the patch, and it was interesting to see the chat messages with the questions that people had. I have I have Exchange 2010 Service Pack 1. Am I am I vulnerable? And then the guys were so patient. No, this is only 2013, 16, 19. I'm on, this level of 2013 with this CU. Am I vulnerable? Yes, you are vulnerable. And it's like, my goodness, didn't you just hear anything that these people said? And it's all spelled out in a really well written technical document for what you exactly need to do. Like, and so I have to give kudos to those guys, like how incredibly gracious and patient they were when dealing with these questions, which was just like, number one, you weren't paying attention to anything that they said for the last half hour. Number two, are you not able to read this document that clearly explains, because it's so serious, you could tell like they took effort into making this. It's not an easy patch to do, but reading it, it's like, oh, these are the steps, and then you're done. Yeah. So sorry, being a little soapboxy there, but it was just like frustrating to be.
That's
so.
just, and we will dive a little deeper into this exchange thing, but I agree with your point, because I do, when I share stuff, and I share a lot of stuff on social media and stuff like that, and I'll get questioned by people like, hey, but blah blah blah, is this? I'm like, wait, did you not open the link to the thing that I just posted? Because the stuff you asking me is on the second paragraph. It's right there in your face. Like, I think what people do is they just read the headlines of whatever it is, the titles, and then make assumptions from that. And then, but then the article is like this long, I had one, like, I'm covering stuff for Ignite, this week, and I'm posting stuff, and then someone, private messaged me and said, is this like available now? I'm like, the title says in public preview, second half of the year, like, so anyways, again, another soapbox thing, but it's frustrating. I think I don't want to babysit people. My job, and maybe your job or whatever, is to share this, provide as much content to people so that they will actually take it and do something with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I personally appreciate it when, somebody will reach out and say, hey, it says this in the article.
Yeah.
Can you clarify that? I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, this is what it means. And it's not just technical stuff.
No.
It's like, we chat back and forth all day, and, you'll send me something and it's just like a headline, and sometimes I read it and sometimes I don't. But if I don't read it, I don't make a judgment on what the headline is until I read the article, right?
Yes.
And what's funny to me is how sometimes it's clearly that media people are now trying to target and just get people's attention with clever titles.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times it's like has nothing to do
That
with.
has nothing to do with the article. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I've come across a few like that too.
Yeah.
You're right.
This is, the Microsoft document is very clear. It has steps on what you do, and it shows you what is affected. And so just read it and do it,
Yeah. But this problem is, it's actually, this exploit is actively it's happening. And the reports that, companies and universities and stuff are getting hit by it. and even those that have already patched, they can see, you know, what do you call it, attempts to exploit, but they you know the attackers are not able to do that, but they can still see that through their
Right.
whatever security systems and logs and stuff like that. So
Yep. Yeah. Part of this exercise is you should go through your logs to see if anything was attempted. You
mhm,
know, they may not have
yeah,
gotten anything, but at least maybe it'll give you information like, oh, I should block this IP address
right, right.
from, you know, so yeah.
Okay, okay. No, that's good. Great stuff. Yeah, definitely patch. And I know, like, even during Ignite and this thing was hot, and I kept like, retweeting in between, like, okay, while you're busy with this, don't forget you got this big problem here that you got to take care of. If you're, you know,
Yep.
this is important because you'll be hurting for weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Anyways, so moving on from that. Oh, and speaking of patches and stuff, next week is Patch Tuesday for March. Just saying. So it comes up pretty fast. Seems like we just did one recently,
Yep.
and so um, so the other thing you want to talk about virtual
Yeah.
reality?
Yeah, you mentioned you mentioned Ignite. Spring 2021 was
Mhm.
this week, and Kathy Moyer on Facebook mentioned on the crew page, like, hey, there's this alternate way to view the keynote, which was with AltSpaceVR.
Yep.
And it's funny, I kind of mentioned to you, like, yo, what's this thing about? And you sent me a link to our show saying you should listen to the show because these guys talk about it, which I knew what it
That was funny,
was.
wasn't it?
It was funny. I was like, I know what it is, but like, I wasn't sure, like, do you have to pay for this or anything like that? But anyway, it was really simple. My confusion was like, do I have to use my headset or can I put it on my laptop and do it that
Yep.
way? And you just said, nope, you can do it either way, which is good.
Either way, yeah.
So I grabbed the app from the Microsoft Store, and I signed in with my Microsoft account into
Yeah.
AltSpaceVR. I decided not to create a separate account.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay. Yep.
yep. And right from there, it said big event for this week. And right there was Microsoft Ignite. I'm like, no
Right. It's
way.
right on the events, like as soon as you log in. Yep.
Yep. So I hit it that way. And I have to say, the experience was really good. It's very simple to navigate. I didn't like the avatar creation stuff. I'm like, because I like it to look somewhat like me, and I couldn't get it near
It's
what I
hard.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's virtual. It's fine. So one
But
thing
it's
that annoyed
fun
me,
though, right?
it was, I'm like, why do I have to walk down this lobby though? This thing, like, why can't you just put me in the room? But so I got there, and my friend Patrick from Sweden got there,
Yes.
um, and so we were next to each other. Um, and if during the keynotes they muted the microphones for everybody in the room, and so we could hear what the keynotes were doing. But during that time, if when it was not the keynote, the microphones would be off if you unmuted yourself, and you could talk to each other if you wanted to, or type and chat.
Okay.
But it was neat watching the keynote that way. For me personally, I would have gotten a little vertigo and a headache if I had watched it through my Quest.
Okay.
But I could see the value of viewing it that way, because then you
Mhm.
could just be like, if you had a friend next to you, you could be like, well, like, that was really cool, and use hand motions and things like
Right.
that.
Right.
But the keynote itself was very completely not what I expected. Just the over and over and over again, just showing what they're hoping collaboration will be in the near future, not just like 5 years from now, but like really, really soon, was amazing. And so they announced this thing called Mesh, which I'm still
Microsoft
trying
Mac.
to
Yep.
wrap my head around completely. And so I can't speak to it technically, but it's kind of like this framework of things to make collaboration more
Right.
um, mixed reality friendly, regardless of what device or where you're coming from. So
Yeah.
that's going to be exciting. Um, and so it was just really neat to just see, like, people kind of fly in as their real selves in 3D.
Yeah.
and have talks with each other, like James Cameron talking about his trip to the bottom of the ocean using the what do they call? I forgot the name of the
Like
sub that he created.
capsule thing that, yeah.
Yep. But then like him saying like, we want to make this accessible to everyone with these tools like this, which is really, really awesome.
Hmm.
So I was like, wow, this was a fun keynote,
And
you
then
know?
the doctors, like medical
Mhm.
stuff, right? They're trying to do treatments and surgeries, and there was one where they showed, I don't know whether you saw that. They're looking at like a model of something like pipes or something like that, and then they're collaborating, like, hey, looks like we got a problem here on this joint. We should fix that or something,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was brilliant, right? I mean, like, people from all over can just like look at the thing at the same time, without having it physically. So it was really interesting. And I found, like, I mean, obviously you did too, that the theme of Ignite, Spring 2021, was virtual reality. Really, a lot of it was that.
Yep.
you know,
Mhm.
yeah, it was fun. I don't know whether you experienced the in AltSpace VR, where as you moved away from, you know whether you were watching the keynote, or someone speaking, it got
Yes.
softer,
Yep.
and it's pretty interesting how that works, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was in the virtual Ignite hall for a bit. So this is after the keynote,
Hmm.
where other attendees were just talking to each other, and there was a crew Easter egg, which Patrick found first. I found it
Oh, he
second.
did. Okay.
Yeah. But there was even like a little thing where you could take a selfie of your avatar
Yes, you
against this
can. Yes.
backdrop. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cute. So it was neat. And as you walked towards or away from people, you would hear them talk. But honestly, that made me like super nervous. And so I was just like, I don't know who you are. Like people would come up to me like, hey, Prayer. I'm like, I don't know who you are. And I'm
You
just
have
going
to
to,
click on them to know, because it'll show their name and stuff.
if they put it in.
Ah, okay.
Yep. And so I'm like, I don't know who you are, And so I didn't want to be rude. If it was real life and somebody said that, I'd be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Um, but so I just kind of like stood still, and like and so then people would walk by and be like, is that like a bot? Oh yeah, that must be a bot because it's not moving or anything like that. So yeah, I got
You
shy.
should try. You should try using your Oculus the next time.
I will.
And it's similar, but you just have a little bit more controls, and it feels a bit different, right? You can move your hands, and you can grab things,
Yep.
and stuff like that, without using your keyboard and stuff. So you're using those joysticks and stuff that we get with the Oculus. So it's a lot more fun, I feel, with the. But yeah, the longer you use it, you do start getting that whole, you know um, headache, kind of like the nauseated kind of feeling. So you have to, you know, depending on what your tolerance level is.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
so that's good. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
But
fun.
we should play with this Microsoft Mesh at some point, and then talk about it in one of our shows down the road.
Yeah, I definitely want to take a deeper dive into what was presented and get a better understanding it because I feel like I'm even failing to give a good explanation of
Yeah.
what I think it is. So
Yeah.
to be fully honest, yeah.
And then there was like announcements, a lot of announcements on Power Platform. Um, that's all integrated now with Teams and things like that, and um, so people can create things with it. Low code, those kind of things.
Cool.
That's what Power Platform is all about. So really cool stuff. So exciting. So I stayed very close to the live events. That's what I did, and because I was getting, like, as the host, will pull in different people to showcase new announcements and new things and stuff like that. So that's where I got a lot out of it from that perspective.
Cool.
So yeah. So yeah, that's good. And do we have anything else?
Um, I have to say, I'm so disappointed in myself. Because I love tacos, you know, but like I don't know, like I felt in my heart they shouldn't cost $2 or $3 for a
Each.
taco. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, there was this great place up where we used to live in New York called the Taco Shack, which was it was a terrifying place to be inside. But dude, they had the most amazing food, and their tacos were like 90 cents, and
Okay.
they were big and they were good. I was like, how hard can this be to make? So I went to Aldi. I bought a bag of the Southwest salad.
Okay.
Bought a bag of shredded Tex-Mex cheese, and then some ground beef, 93% lean. So olive oil, browned up the beef, put it in and I bought the tortillas, and I did that, added a ton of crushed red pepper, and I was like, this is the best taco I've ever had in my life. What have I been doing?
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah. And
So you
so
made your own.
I ate 2 or 3 tacos a day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday,
Oh my God.
right? And it cost me maybe $11, right? It was
Yeah.
healthier and it was cheaper. And I made it in under 15 minutes. I'm like, what have I been doing all these years? So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I had to apologize to myself, like, dude.
Because you know why? It's just convenient, right? We're so used to, like, can I cook Indian food? Of course I can, right? I used to do it a lot when I was younger and stuff. But lifestyle has changed where we are so time focused, right? We don't have enough time in the day, and cooking things like that, like non-American food takes time, the preparation, right? The cutting of the ingredients, and but when it comes out, it's amazing. It's fantastic. And
Yep.
so I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't do that as often as I should, but we do. My family actually do have tacos, once every couple of weeks or something like that. Um, what we do is, or my wife does, is that on the weekend she'll create a menu for the week. So,
Okay.
okay, what do we? I need 6 dishes, right? So okay, this, and puts it down on the board there, and then she does the groceries according to that.
Oh,
So
okay.
right, so she'll say, okay, well, we're fixing spaghetti on whatever day. It doesn't matter. We don't have any days. We just put it down, and then we just figure out like, today we feel like here, let's pick one from the menu today. So if it's spaghetti, okay, she needs the meat, uh, the noodles if we don't have any, the sauce, the cheese, the this. So she does the groceries that way. And then if it's tacos, okay, you need the taco shells or the tortillas, and then lettuce, and there's so everything's like, so you got your stuff,
Mhm.
instead of just like, I don't know, should I get lettuce today on this grocery trip? Should I get zucchini? Should I get this? Should I get that? And then half the time you don't use that stuff. They just go to, they go bad, whatever.
Right.
And then you don't even have an idea, like, what do you want to fix? Um, so yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. You can probably do some stuff with, I don't know whether you have like a crock pot or something like that, or one of those things, and you can do what do you call it, pulled pork and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like pork, which
Okay.
weirds people out. And I don't like bacon either, which weirds people out.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, there's a bunch of Indian stuff you can do with a crock pot, but um, I've been finding it that it's honestly super easy just to make it. Um,
Just like that on the
just
yeah.
make it. And the proportion of different spices that I'm using is working on like any protein that I'm using. So I've added that spice blend to like on top of salmon and just rubbed it in, threw it in the oven for 15 minutes, and it comes out, and put it on a bun, and it's unbelievable. Um,
Oh wow.
Added it to hamburgers. It's funny because it's I've been slowly adding like more and more chili powder to it. And it's funny because I'm like, I feel like my face is melting off. Because I'm just sweating and it's dripping on the table, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so spicy, but it's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I want more.
You need the heat. You need the
Yep.
heat. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that too. Uh, yeah, we have a new Nepali place in my town,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, so that's like the closest Indian thing you can get nearby and stuff like that. It's not really Indian. It's different, right?
Yep.
It's like locals call it Indian, and I'm like, no, it's not Indian. It's Nepali. It's whatever. It's mountain food, really. Uh, but anyways, so when I order, if I'm ordering, like if other people in my family are gonna eat it, then I have to like tell them to tone down the spice, mild or oftentimes just medium is fine. But there was one time I was alone and I ordered and I said make it hot, and when I got it, it was like it was it was it was hot. It was bad hot. I was like, it's tasty, but it's like, you know.
Yep.
So
I was with a group of friends. It's a similar story, and um, one guy was there for the first time. He had had Indian food before, and he liked spicy. And so I think I ordered like lamb vindaloo, and I ordered it medium. And the guy, and he's like, medium prayer. I thought you could take more than that. I'm like, I don't think anybody can take more than this because this is pretty hot right now, even for me. And I love spicy food. And so he told our server, like, I want it hot. And they're like, are you sure? He's like, yep. And he got so sick he had to leave, like there on the spot. Like he's like,
oh
I have to go home. Like I can't eat this. And so
oh
he ran home, and he was like sick for a day. I'm like, I told you,
yeah
you
yeah.
don't mess around with that stuff. So
Now when so that's why they have those spice levels and trust it.
yep,
you know, Sometimes you can tell them like, hey, give it to me in between this and that, and they'll try to get it. But if you just say hot, it'll come out really bad.
for
Not
sure.
really bad. It'll come out really hot. Even people like us can take it because then you don't enjoy the food anymore, right?
Exactly.
You're just trying to like the taste is there and stuff, but you just don't enjoy it. You're like suffering. What's the
Mhm.
point? You know.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, so that's good stuff. I like this food talk.
We used to do it a lot. I figured
We
maybe
used to
bring it
do it a
back.
lot. We used to end it with food all the time.
Hey, there we go. We're ending it with food.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
one. Good one. Anyways, all right. So until next time, you'll find me on Twitter. I'm Hooge, Horge.
and you can find me on Twitter. My alias is the IT Jedi.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, y'all.
Cheers.
See ya.
Fork, fork, fork.